This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. So many of us going through lots of different challenges. Could be physical, chronic pain, could be mental, you got things going on, maybe anxiety, stress. How can we rise above that? Shifting your energy would be one of those. And that's what she helps us with. She does alternative healing, holistic healing, energy healing, if you will. And we're going to dig back into our conversation from last time. The question today is, how long does this take? You work with her. She adjusts your energy. It's all with your permission, everything going on here. We'll even talk about what that means, adjusting or shifting your energy. How long does this take for us to feel better? Gabrielle Powerchuk is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. And let's go basic here and just show everybody, when we say shifting our energy, how do you define that?
Shifting our energy. So shifting the energy is by simply thinking about something positive. You shifted your own energy.
So
that's simple.
Yeah, well, thank you. Keeping it simple. We're all energy. Everything is energy. When we feel off or we have pain, like physical pain, many times it's connected to our energy. It's not just short of an injury. You know, let's say you were running, you tripped, you fell, you broke your leg. That's an injury. We know how that happened. All the other stuff that shows up, is it reasonable to think that our energy is, best description here, off, and that's potentially why we're feeling that physical pain?
So yes, both sides. So the simplest way, as I was saying, you can shift your thought process, and you just now shifted your energy. What is important to know is, and when all of us have done it to some degree or another, the mind over matter, meaning I'm going to think positive, I'm going to do this and that in a positive way so that my life and whatever I want to comes to me or I attract. So that's the mind over matter, shifting your energy. But we'll often find ourselves back to square one. It's like, well, I've done everything that I wanted to and can do. Why am I still back to that where I didn't want to be? Emotions, your life, finances, relationships, you name it, whatever. So the reason being is because the true source of that negative energy has not been taken care of. That's the subconscious energy, not your conscious energy. So that's still attached to your conscious energy. So no matter how much you have resolve, let's just take something which is really prevalent with many women, for instance. They always want to lose weight. They do everything right. They eat well, they exercise, they do everything else. And as long as they're doing it, they kind of do well. And as soon as they slack off a little bit, then it's not doing well anymore. And then you ask yourself, well, why am I slacking back off, right? Then they get tired and all sorts of circumstances come up, because the true source of why they actually gained weight or cannot sustain what they now just committed themselves to is not been resolved.
You mentioned the subconscious, and I've never heard this said before, but it makes perfect sense now. The energy in the subconscious. It's my thinking and belief that there's things in our subconscious from our childhood, like you talk about holding on to weight. You're working out, you're doing the best you can. Why is it not coming off? Maybe you don't feel like you deserve to be in great shape. And that could tie back to your subconscious, maybe your childhood.
Yeah.
That part I got. I never realized that there's an energetic connection to that belief, that feeling that is sitting in your subconscious.
Yes.
Can we go deeper on that? Because this is like a new moment for
Absolutely.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Absolutely. So subconscious, well, it's basically the blob that walks around with you and you feel it, but you don't know it. So, uh, and modern alternative people, they talk about sit down and meditate and let go of everything and be one with you. Well, that's easier said than done. No matter how much you practice, because the subconscious is still there and it's talking to you big time. So that in itself is a handicap, if you will. So again, let's go back to the weight issue. There are two things. People pack on weight because they protect themselves. They need to be protected. Extra weight is a
Yes.
buffer zone, okay? So we need to find out why do they need the buffer zone to protect themselves. That's in the subconscious. So they can fall back on that. And or they like you said, they don't deserve to be slender. Well, subconscious is like, well, let's find out why don't you think you deserve that? Are you going to be pretty? And who knows? Or sustaining the exercise. Sustaining the exercise is not that easy. Um, Again, it's in your subconscious. Why aren't you sustaining it? Anyway, the subconscious is the primary drive why we cannot sustain certain things, no matter how much we do mind over matter.
How do you change that energy? Because
Well, that's where I come in.
yes,
This mind, yeah. So
the,
go ahead.
the stuff in the subconscious for me, and all sorts of energy modalities along the way in my journey. Call it in the last half dozen years, but hypnotherapy was impactful for me to realize the things sitting in the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
All good. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it moved things forward for me, and I'm just using me as an example.
Sure.
However,
Yeah.
big however, I don't believe I fully addressed the energy that was attached to
You
those
are
things.
correct. You are correct.
So probably it's like pest control. You got, bugs and things in your house. It's, got things around here. You need to get rid of them. You do something, but you haven't gotten rid of all the bugs. You've
Mm-hmm.
sprays or whatever it is. You got rid of some of them, but there's still some hiding out in there.
The source needs to go. The source. And
Okay.
the source is located in your subconscious. And
Wow.
the source has originated somewhere, somehow. And the resonance repatterning goes back all the way when it originated, when the source originated, meaning way back when your ancestors interpreted life in a certain way, like I'm helpless, I can't do anything about it, or I don't feel competent. You never know. So the body dies, but the energy was moved forward to your present body. So now, so many generations back, let's assume 15. So now you have this energy, the potency of the energy of 15 generations in your body. And here you are wanting to work on something specific and find yourself always coming back to square one. You're successful for a while and then you fall back on certain things. And you find it's like, well, I've been there before. Why can't I shake it? Well, because the source hasn't been addressed.
Hmm. Are you referring to things from other lives as well?
Yeah, these are other lives. Your ancestors lived a different life. So you have that energy from the ancestors, plus you got your own life. You lived many different lives as well, had your own personal experiences with that. So yes, you have accumulated that too.
Does it amaze you, Gabrielle, that we're able to function as we do these days? If we're holding on to all this stuff from the past,
Yeah.
the stuff that's come up for us, this is all around us. How do we even do life? It's kind of amazing.
So we do, yes, because we have a will, right? So, and we have a heart and a soul. So, and a drive. we have a lot of positiveness in our body, and we access it as best as we can, as available as it is to us. And it is different for everyone, depending on how much baggage, if you will, they carry around with them. Now, here's something you got to keep in mind. There are two ways of dealing with this energy that you carry around. One is to address it, such as with me or other sources. And then there's the other way, which is not a very good way, just sheer control. Absolutely 100% control, meaning you shove everything down and you control and force your way through life, which is not a good way of being, because it prevents you from living a fulfilled, heart-centered life. You have everything, but you cannot enjoy it.
Interesting. And many people say the same exact thing. Even people that win the lottery, millions of dollars, they're not happy. And the money's usually gone in a very short time, because they think, oh, that's going to make me happy. I'll just keep spending that money. And then it's gone. Then they're even more miserable.
Exactly.
Tell us.
So the world gives, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
No. I'd rather hear from you, and I'll give you the answer.
Okay. Because you've got the answers. How long does this take? And for clarity for everyone, and we've discussed it before, but just so it's clear for all, how are you doing this? What are you doing? And what's the expectation in terms of time to help somebody feel better from the stuff that's floating in their subconscious from the past or past generations?
Yeah, so it varies. There is no surefire point to say something. However, some issues may take many sessions because we accumulated certain things.
Sure.
I give you two examples. One is, for instance, migraine headaches. We've discovered that, well, we discussed that a little while ago as well. So migraine headaches are usually not medically treatable. People do get medicine, and it may or may not help for them, or at least it eases their process. So headaches are emotional. Medicine says it's psychosomatic, so meaning emotional, which means absolutely nothing other than you have real pain and it makes your day and life miserable. And headaches come, especially migraine, is validating self. That's the primary cause, validating self and putting a lot of stress on your system. It depends how much of that you have in your system, how long it will take to actually find relief. I have a woman who does have it, and she's been with me now for 10 sessions, and she has already relief. She stated, I don't have headaches as much as I used to have. It is just not gentle. So we keep working on it until she's headache free. Then I had a woman who said, I have terrible cramps, and she explained to me what was going on the day before. And she didn't actually want to do the session on that situation, but somehow we agreed that this is her body wants it. So that's what we did. We did a session on her, found out what the underlying cause was. And within 2 hours, she was pain-free, completely pain-free.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I personally do sessions on myself too. Lately, I've been waking up with headaches, which I have no idea. So I sit down, I said, well, I'd like to know the underlying causes of my headache. And we work on that. And within, in my case, within an hour or even less, I'm pain-free.
Now, obviously, it doesn't work that way for everyone. But
correct.
Can you give an example of somebody that was dealing with something? And I'm going to leave that up to you, physical or emotional, mental pain, where it came from. This is all anonymous, right? And how long it took to help them feel better, or I'm going to say maybe pain-free.
Yeah. So, well, that one person, she had an argument with her significant other. And again, she felt wiped out and didn't want to really do this whole thing. Her body, however, was ready to release it. And through the discussion on what actually happened, it affected her reproductive organs because of what happened the day before. That's how she was affected. And her body said, well, I got cramps, so take care of it, please. So we did. And within 2 hours, she was exhausted. She slept for 2 hours, which was good self-care. And she said, I woke up and I was fine. Still exhausted because it was an emotional toll on her. But she was fine physically. Yeah, that's how quickly it goes. I worked with a woman who had severe headaches, and she had to face something with a lawyer, and she had such headaches that she ended up vomiting. And we literally found out that she needs to take care of herself. Herself. She had a project she needs to do, and she kept on pushing that project, but she knows that it was weighing heavily on her. And so it is exactly that. She needed to take care of the project, which was taking care of herself, which is incredibly important. So through the repatterning, we set a date. We took care of all this underlying negative thought process, which kept her from actually tackling it, and had a process in place. And now she knows she will feel better. But the little hump to actually doing it, we needed to work on, and we did. So August 1st is her date to clear it and make her project work. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And where, just to reiterate here, where did this come from?
Meaning, how do I find out? Is that the question?
For her, where did what was sitting in her subconscious?
Tension. Okay, let me gather my thoughts real quick. She had a negative, of course, she had a negative belief. I don't quite recall. I see what you're saying. I don't usually remember things because it's so important and I don't carry it around with me. I usually let that go. So I cannot tell you because that is something I don't carry with me. It would be nice to know. And I'm thinking if I remember about something about myself with the headaches. So no, but how about this? Can we pick up on that particular subject the next time we talk? And I'll take something with me from my point of view so that it is still.
Sure.
Yeah. And I don't mind sharing that.
Two thoughts here. Sometimes many of us are private, so even going to therapy is uncomfortable because we don't want to talk about our past or even ruminate over it, over again.
Yeah.
So you may not know what it was, but I'm curious if for her that came up, what the tension was actually being caused by.
It does. Yes. So the way the process goes is I use my books, right? And her consciousness, higher consciousness, is telling me which book we need. And then by kinesiology, meaning muscle checking, I am guided through these books to find out which book we need, what belief there was, how far it's gone back, who did she inherit that, life need, spiritual need, how did she feel about it? Those are all the negative things. Then once those are released, including generations, then we go on to the coherence, and then we have a process to find out the coherence. Do we get it from the planetary correlation? Which planet? So positive beliefs, ancestral belief, family beliefs, generational beliefs, all these coherent beliefs. Who do I need to represent? Mom, dad, society, generations. So we implement all these coherent beliefs. So yes, we find out the negativity, let that go, however far it goes. And then we put coherence in her mind so that she now can operate from that coherent point of view, such as I am perfect, meaning the self-image, or I got this. So whatever it is, the feeling of I got this, meaning I can tackle whatever I need to do. So yeah, then generation is saying that you are different, but you're the first one to do it, go for it. Something always positive, supporting you in your endeavors. And usually people, when they hear the negative uh, statement that I brought or said to them, is like, oh yeah, definitely. They resonate very much with what comes up. That we just didn't know. It's like throwing, how can you find a needle in a haystack? It's virtually impossible. And by doing and using the book, it's finding the needle in a haystack. And once the needle is found, it's like, oh yeah, definitely, no doubt about that. Once it's coming to their consciousness, they agree. Not all the time, because it is so off base in a sense, so out there, but it's still connected to their current situation. Not everything makes cognitive sense, but it's still valid.
Well, when you think about it, when we're somewhat older, we've been through a lot in our lives. Think about that. Every minute of every day, and just one short moment could be in your subconscious holding you back, creating tension, no matter what it is. It could be a one-off situation. As a child, it could be 3.
Yeah. So think about it. Most of us don't even remember or have to think really hard what we had for lunch yesterday. How in the world can you remember what happened throughout your life?
Yeah.
But we store it, and your body knows, and your higher consciousness knows.
And that's the stuff that's challenging us. And
yes.
we're not going to know it unless we go into the subconscious. I find it fascinating that that's where many energy healers that I'm aware of don't talk about the subconscious. It's just clearing the energy, clearing the energy. You're working to go into the subconscious where all these thoughts, these beliefs are being held, to help eradicate those or shift them, but also the energy as well. So it's in my opinion,
to where it is connected on the origin. I go to the origin, which is source, to the origin. That is making all the difference.
Which could potentially be 3 generations back. Yes.
Oh, no, more than that. 3 generations back, no big deal.
I picked any number. But it's in our lineage, right?
It's in our lineage, and it can go back as far, well, the furthest I have seen is 113 generations on my part. And the energy, the more generations you have there, the energy is pretty darn potent. So meaning it takes a lot of effort to keep that under wraps.
Wow. If we had this conversation, I don't know, 7 years ago, I might think that it's a little woo. Now,
it is.
I believed in energy, worked, connected to other people in that area. So I'm open to it, but I would still, I'm a skeptic. So I'd still be saying, yeah, okay, all right. Having lived this, worked with it in many capacities, maybe not all at the same time as you do. Wish I met you. Wish I knew you when I was younger. I believe in all of it. And the wake up was the past life regression I did a year ago. A year ago, and I saw connections, and that was just one life, and that was, I believe, that was only like maybe 100 and something years ago. I saw things in that life that are connected to my life now. Did I clear out the energy? No. I didn't even think about that. I just worked on the what was in the subconscious from that. Wow. Thank you for clarifying this today.
So I want to mention one more thing. A client actually had seen that. So I posted all the videos that we have done so far on my own personal YouTube channel. And my client looked at it, and before we had a session, she says, I saw your videos from 5 years ago, because that's when I started it. And she says, holy cow, you had a lot of baggage. You looked so sad. I said, yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. And she was thinking, maybe you need to take those down, because I was heavy. I gave you all the information how it all works, but my energy was very low. So it was good feedback. And then I thought about it. I said, no, I'm not taking it down, because people can literally see the difference from where I used to be to who I am now. That in itself speaks volumes.
I agree. And I happily can say I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And
well, we change. Absolutely. We all change, and we have our better parts of it. But if there's something stuck with you that you just can't get past, or you have illnesses or headaches, for instance, that don't go away, hip pain that don't go away, and nobody can help you, it is energetic.
Wow. How do we find you? What's the best way?
Yeah. So please text me, and when you do, let me know who you are, please, and where you found me. My phone number is 206-498-9094. And the reason I'm asking is I get lots of unsolicited attention.
Sure.
So please be specific.
I love the way you put that. Attention.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And put that in the subject area, just so we know
Please.
that you're legit, when you reach out to Gabrielle.
Exactly.
Instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. Another way to reach out. And final question, YouTube channel, your YouTube videos. How do we access that?
Holistic Healing.
All
And
right.
you see my face. So there's no doubt there's only one out there with my face on it. And yeah.
I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you so much for today. Wonderful
You're
talking
welcome.
with you, and the clarity,
Likewise.
as always, fantastic. But even today, we went deep, but in a way that's easy to understand, and I appreciate that.
I'm glad. Thank you. I could anytime.
We'll talk soon. We'll
Have
be
a
right
great
back.
day.
You too.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.